Hello and welcome to the Discover Virginia Beach podcast, where we set out to highlight all there is to discover with what the Virginia Beach area has to offer for both tourists and locals alike. I'm so glad you're here and listening to one of our first ever interviews with a local woman, businesswoman, and entrepreneur, Clarissa Mann, owner of With Love Cleaning Service. Clarissa, welcome to the Discover Virginia Beach podcast.
Hi, I'm so happy to be on your podcast. I'm
Clarissa,
excited.
absolutely. We're super honored to have you on the podcast today as one of our first guests. Just kind of break down for those of you listening. We're talking about discovering Virginia Beach and specifically how those folks who are looking to go all in on spring cleaning and how they can best utilize your services, especially as of this recording when we are only 2 weeks out from summer. Isn't that crazy, Clarissa?
Yes, everything's happening so fast. So
Absolutely. So, Clarissa, can you share with the audience where you're from and how your experience has been with the Virginia Beach area throughout the years for you?
Okay. Well, I am from Queens, New York, but I was raised in Newport News, Virginia. I did attend high school in Phoebus, which is in Hampton. So yeah, I grew up here mainly my whole life. And honestly, going to Virginia Beach was just like, it's like a mini vacation. You get to go to the beach, you get to walk the strip, you get to go to Mount Trashmore. You just get to do so much there in that area specifically, especially when, you get so many breaks. I feel like we get a lot of breaks in Virginia, in the state of Virginia for school. The kids get a lot of breaks. So I just always feel like if you're not looking to go outside of the state of Virginia, like Virginia Beach, Norfolk, like I feel like our area has a lot to offer. So it was so much for us to do growing up. You had the Bluebird Gap Farm. I just feel like it's just so much and it's a good time. I do believe it's a good area to raise your children as well too.
Absolutely. Yeah, Clarissa, you named a few of those of some of my favorite places, including Mount Trashmore, which I always have to clarify. Mount Trashmore it doesn't stink. It's not a mountain of trash that we
Yes.
on because we can't afford parks. No, absolutely not. It's the opposite. It was a scrapyard, a junkyard that the city officials and locals came together and said, "Hey, let's make the most of this." So they capped it off, they sealed it. It doesn't stink, and they turned it into this magnificent park and walking trail. So it's
beautiful.
truly a place where there's just so much going on. As you mentioned, that's kind of why why I started this podcast is just because there are so many things to do and talk about. Like there has to be more conversations about it. So Clarissa, thank you for mentioning those so much. So as we dive into the show today, I want to definitely, spotlight you and your business because I understand you are a businesswoman and you are an entrepreneur. And recently you did some cleaning services for one of my rental properties. And oh my gosh, I was kind of embarrassed when I walked in because I was like, this is something I didn't have the time to do, nor have really the bandwidth to do while I was moving my home and my office and figuring things out. So it was such an incredible service that you offered for just a full deep clean. And it's something I probably couldn't have done even if I had the time. So Clarissa, would you mind walking me through how you got into the cleaning business? What is it that interested you in starting a business of that caliber and what that typically looks like from your day to day?
Yeah, so I got started, I would say unknowingly, probably when I was a teenager in high school. So I would hang out with my friends or we would go hang out at, each other's homes. And sometimes my friend mom would say like, okay, you have to clean your room before you go, or the room has to be clean. It has to look this type of way. And so when I would help my friend clean, I would literally like take things out the closet. I was doing deep cleans as a teenager. So I was just cleaning so much. And I would also like organize my older sisters, their closets. I would clean one had a townhome, one had an apartment. So I would clean, their homes. I would organize their closets. I would organize their cabinets. Like I would just do it because I wanted to do it. And honestly, just seeing how satisfied and happy they would react to what I did, they were just like, oh my God, it looks so great. I could see everything. Or I would let them know like, you should get rid of this. And so I was unknowingly just doing that because I wanted to do it. It just came natural to me. And then as I got older, I lived in the state of New York for about 4 or 5 years. And when I came back to Virginia, I was just thinking to myself, like, what can I do as far like for myself outside of my work? Because at the time I was working in property management, and I would go and inspect the apartment home before a person would move in. So, I mean, with me, I would take like a little bucket, a mop. I would just take things with me to clean it up just to make sure. And I would find myself in that apartment like, okay, this was missed, that was missed. Okay, I think I will call my cleaners to come back. I want the tub to look this way. I was very into it, but still it wasn't really registering to me. So I would say about 2020, when the pandemic hit, I started to really think about, my future and what I wanted. And I knew for a fact I wanted to go to school. I'm earning my degree in psychology, but every time I would try to go to school, I would have to quit school because I had a full-time job. I'm literally following the schedule of that business. So I just thought to myself, I really need to do something that's going to work with me, work with my future. So I decided that I was going to start a cleaning business. And when I told my family that, they were just like, yes, you love to clean. It comes natural. Like you got this, you can do it. So them encouraging me to start the business. Once I did, I had friends who were like, you can come clean my home. And I was basically practicing, I was practicing. I was making sure like I was using the right chemicals or the right sprays and cloths and all those things. So once I really saw my work, like the before and after photos, I was blown away. And I truly believe like, you know what? No, I can do this. So once I got started on that and I started to promote my business and gain clientele, it just took off from there. And then also being on Facebook, I had your number already because one of my sisters was looking at to buy a home. That's how I got your number. I found you. And I had it and I kept getting like Discover, Virginia Beach, and I would be looking and I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, oh, this is the realtor Joe. So that's when I sent you my business card with my cleaning service. And then we started to talk from there. And so, and so that's when we came up with me coming to, you wanted me to clean one of your rental properties. And honestly, that was such an amazing job. I got some amazing good photos from the before and after. When I tell my customers, don't be embarrassed, like, oh, I'm sorry I didn't clean, or I just don't have the time. It's like, you not having the time gives me a job. It gives me a business. This is what keeps me in business. Like, never feel like you have to do this. Look, our loads are already heavy. If you need to lighten it with outsourcing housekeeping or whatever, like, trust me, you're keeping us in business when you say, hey, I'm unable to do it. It's just not something that I can do right now. I'm going to hire someone to do it. So it keeps us in business. I loved cleaning your rental property. Like I said, it's beautiful. It's huge.
Thank you for that, Clarissa. Yeah. And one of the things I love about technology too. And, we have all of these tools to like network and connect with people. So it's really cool because I don't know, like 20 years ago without the internet, I don't think we might not have crossed paths. I mean, even in a different city, right? And that's really cool, Clarissa. And I appreciate you sharing that. I'm curious for those people who are maybe they're like on the fence about cleaning services, or they're just like not really in the headspace yet to like, okay, I don't really want to commit to hiring somebody quite yet. Are there any like quick tips or hidden gems that you found just to kind of like elevate your home cleaning service, or just cleaning in general around the house? Would you mind sharing like one or two tips about that?
Yeah. So if you're not ready to hire a cleaning service, the first thing I would do is focus on the most important room that you really want cleaned. So if you aren't ready to commit to a housekeeper and you know for a fact that you really want your living room clean, I would say set a timer, set a 15-minute timer, and you could pick up as many items that you can that don't belong in the living room. You can straighten up your pillows. You can do a quick vacuum, a quick wipe down. And when the timer goes off, that's it. That's it. No more cleaning. So give yourself a 15-minute.
Not any extra buffer
no
time
extra,
afterwards?
no nothing. Yeah, just give yourself 15 minutes and you will see a difference. You'll see a difference in what you can do in 15 minutes, especially when you set a timer, because you're racing against the clock. So that's one option. Another option I would say quickly is to choose a day. Choose a day where you can clean. So let's just say, you always want to relax on Sunday. Like Sundays are your days to relax. Well, and you have some time on Saturday. Choose a Saturday to maybe don't do a deep clean, but to go around your home and touch up on things and make sure the dishes are clean, or go from room to room doing as much as you can. And that's another thing. You could say, look, I'm only going to do 3 things in this room. I'm going to wipe it. I'm going to empty the trash can. And then I'm just going to vacuum. Give yourself 3 items, 3 things to do for yourself, so you're not overwhelmed with trying to clean the whole space. 3 things to do in each room that will also benefit you. Yes, I think
those are some really awesome tips, Clarissa. I appreciate you sharing that. As you were saying that, I was having clients I worked with come to mind that either had like a large space that were trying to downsize, and as they were going through the selling and the buying process, it was just somewhat overwhelming element to not only buy and sell a home, but also try and figure out all those cleaning components as well. So that's a really great tip. Just set a timer, right? Don't have any extra buffer room, and just do what you can. Use that energy in a very controlled space. If you're not quite ready to, ring up Clarissa on the phone and,
yes,
and work with her, but always recommend that first and foremost, if you have the means to, and if not, definitely that's a great tip. So yeah, so as we come out of the business component, I'd love to know from you, Clarissa, and I know you've kind of already touched on this, but got some rapid fire questions as we kind of wrap up today's conversation. So first and foremost, for those people who have already been in Virginia Beach area, right? Yeah. And I say Virginia Beach area loosely because that does include 6 other cities commonly referred to as Hampton Roads. Yes. Most people don't know Hampton Roads because that was a term coined in the 1800s. So I typically just say Virginia Beach area, not because I'm a Virginia Beach snob. I love Norfolk and Chesapeake all equally. But of course, when it comes to our locals, a lot of people are always asking me like, Joe, where do I go where the tourists aren't? Where are the local gems at? So when it comes to local gems for you, Clarissa, aside from what you've already mentioned, because I know you mentioned Bluebird Gap Farm, which is a big one, and Mount Trashmore, are there any other hidden gems or places you would say, oh my gosh, like if you haven't like explored outside of those 2, town center area and oceanfront, where would you recommend people check out next?
I would tell them to check out downtown Phoebus. So that's in the Hampton area. Yep. I believe that area is being built up and I love it. I love the old-fashioned look. I love the little local restaurants that are there. So there aren't any huge chain restaurants. Like literally, if you want to get some amazing seafood, I love the Dead Rise. It's called the Dead Rise. And I mean, it's a beautiful, yes, the Dead Rise. They have the best she crab soup. And I'm willing to die on that hill. They have the best she crab soup. And I love the views there. It's right by the water. So the Dead Rise is a great place to go. And also it's close to, I would say close to or on the Fort Monroe base, which is now open to the public. So in that area, you're able to walk around, you're able to see some historic sites, monuments and things like that there. And it's right by the water. So I love that area. To me, it is a hidden gem. Every time I go there, it's not super busy. So I'm telling you, just park your car, go for a nice walk. If you want to get some amazing seafood, go to the Dead Rise.
I love that because a lot of times people don't even think of the peninsula as being one of those spots with a hidden gem. The peninsula is a part of Hampton Roads. It's a part of Virginia Beach area, Newport News and Hampton. Definitely, totally like they're the underdogs of this area, right? There's a lot of, like you said, really cool places. And also, I'll mention too, there's actually a beach there. It's Buckrow Beach is right next to Fort Monroe. With summer season coming up, if you want to avoid the locals, for locals to avoid the tourists, that's definitely a beach you can check out. It's definitely like with any of the 10 beaches in Virginia Beach, it's got its own unique vibe and experience. So there's so many beaches. Go check it out. See if it's your vibe. If not, you got 9 others to pick from. Yes. And the Dead Rise is I was writing that down.
You got to visit.
Yeah. So as far as hidden gems go, I think that's great there. If you'd like to learn more about hidden gems and also where to check out more things to do in the Virginia Beach area, I highly recommend you guys check out the Discover Virginia Beach Facebook group, where we do weekly videos like this, as well as live streams featuring what to do in the area for both locals and tourists alike. It's a private but free Facebook group. All you have to do to enter is just simply mention if you've been in the Virginia Beach area before, and also what you're looking to discover, because we use that information for content like this to help you discover Virginia Beach. So with that said, Clarissa, thank you so much for being on today's one of our first podcasts. We're super great to have you. Love to have you back. And in the meantime, if people are looking to learn more about your services and your products for cleaning, whether that be for a move out deep clean or just some weekly cleaning, where can they go to find more information about your products and services?
Yes, well, thank you so much, Joe, for having me on your show. I'm so honored to be the first guest. And for anyone who's looking for cleaning services, you can check me out on Facebook. It's With Love Cleaning Service. All in one place, you'll be able to see my before and after photos of my work. You'll be able to have my contact information up there. Also, my website is linked. I love to have everything in one space. So if you were to go on Facebook, you can find me at With Love Cleaning Service.
Perfect. And with that said, thank you all for tuning in. We will catch you all in the next video where we set out to discover all that Virginia Beach has to offer. Until next time, start discovering Virginia Beach.